good, gang? Hey, hold up. We going to school real quick. We got us a video called The Problem with LA Gangs by Trap University. I actually got two videos. Another one we're gonna be checking out is called New York Drill. But that's besides the point. Y'all gonna be getting this one today. Y'all be getting New York Drill tomorrow. But like I said, we're going to school, so grab your snacks, cause I know y'all had plenty of snacks in school. Grab your water, cause I know they was tripping if you had like juice. They probably let you have Gatorade, but grab your water. Let's go ahead and get right into this video, bro. Y'all good? I bet.
LA, Nick, you know what? I'm trying to clean up my language a little bit in these videos, but Los Angeles gang members. There is nothing the FBI loves more than a gang with some structure.
Honestly, bro,
gang members.
I do hope this picture is fake. Like the fact that you got the whole family throwing up some type of blood sample. He throwing up blood. She throwing up the 2 guns. He throwing up the B. She throwing up the 5-star. I don't even know what this is. Illuminati? What? I don't know. Anyways.
There is nothing the FBI loves more than a gang with some structure. Why? Because if I'm the FBI, all I gotta do is find one guy at the top and he'll link me to everybody else. You see, the thing about the little YNs in Chicago backdooring each other and being every man for themselves is that it's much harder to prove a racketeering conspiracy against them. The law won't even try to bring any Chicago gang members into court to try to prove that any of them are doing anything in furtherance of anything other than themselves.
Ain't no loyalty in Chicago.
You can't even leave a gun around guys in furtherance of anything other than themselves. You can't even leave a gun around the guys when you in Chicago. Furtherance.
Y'all seen bro finna smack the living boy. Hold up.
Of anything other than themselves.
You see how far bro got his handbag? I gotta find the original video. Hold up. He sees it. He see it coming. I ain't saying nothing, bro.
You can't even leave a gun around the guys when you in Chicago. A dude will smoke a wood with you, eat some wings and fries with you, then steal from you as soon as you go to sleep and send you outside unarmed. Then act like he missed you on social media when somebody catch you. The difference in LA is that there's a such thing as a big homie, a violation, and a DP, or discipline. It's such a rigid structure that in some parts of LA, a grown man can tell another grown man what he's doing in embarrassment of the gang, and this guy that's being DP will actually take action to clean up his act. And all this is good and well for the community until y'all start shooting at each other. All this structure and discipline becomes pointless when it works against you in the courtroom. Any other organization with these type of rules is just the way it should be. There's no problem. But we put structure in the wrong thing. Why doesn't Chicago, a place some people consider the birthplace of gangs and one of the birthplaces of organized crime?
I'm about to say, I don't think Chicago was a birthplace for gangs. Chicago, they had mobsters. That's the thing. Chicago had the mob and stuff like that. The mob ain't a gang. That's that's like cartel level, honestly. The mob is like cartel level. The gangs in California is honestly the closest thing we got to cartel level. I would say the gangs in California, and then yeah, that's really it. Everybody else is really just hustlers. Honestly, or in my opinion, everybody was really just hustlers.
In the United States.
Look at BML.
Why is there no gang structure in Chicago? Because when there was, the feds did a sweep and easily dismantled the entire thing until there was no structure left to build on. I remember riding through Washington Park when the Calumet buildings and the other projects were still up that housed this structure, and it was Bentleys and Maybachs riding through the hood. The big guys was making money and the foot soldiers was being taken advantage of. And this was so the big guys could continue making money. And when the feds came, some of these leaders cooperated and told everything. Ain't nobody finna go from riding in Rolls Royces to serving life just to say they was a real nigga. Some guys will, and these guys didn't get out until they had gray hair. And the feds know this. So all they gotta do is offer somebody a deal. You see, when Big U and all those people got snatched, why the 12?
That's crazy, bro. Just imagine joining a game, giving it your all, cause that's part of the game, that's part of family. That's part of it. Just for the person you protecting, you doing it, what you doing it for? He the one that's snitching on all of y'all. Like, oh yeah, he the one that go shot so and so, and I didn't even tell him to go shoot him. He just did it for the game. I didn't even tell him. He just did it because he wanted to. That's it. Like, just imagine that, bro. And y'all still join these gangs. That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing.
Of them get out within a couple weeks? We don't know yet, but I can take a guess. The real question is, why did all those people get their face put on that board under Big U? Gang structure. When Loose Cannon decided to expose the guy he was putting in work for, he made one of the smartest moves you can as an enforcer. You can't tell me that the guy at the top has anywhere near the same loyalty that the guys at the bottom have for him. Loose could have made just as much money on YouTube as Big U did in the streets, so he didn't have to be an enforcer at all. And Big U doesn't have to cooperate on anybody in this case to get them boys barbecued, cause you know, like I know, that them people don't come unless they got you. Why is Loose
Man.
Cannon talking to Adam 22 on a jail call from the feds, facing federal time for things you already admitted on this man's show after he said he gave them the tape? This who you talking to? Alright, Brick Baby, you 37 years.
Adam 22, bro, is the feds. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I don't even watch Adam 22. Just because of the questions that he be asking sometimes, I feel like he be provoking, like the negative energy. Like, if you get what I mean? Like, I feel like he be provoking the negative energy sometimes. Or like trying to stir stuff up. Or he could be doing some good police work, which is still stirring stuff up so they can still catch him. I don't know, bro, but I don't entertain it, bro.
He said he gave them the tape. This who you talking to? Alright, Brick Baby, you 37 years old. You letting another grown man tell you what you gonna give him from what you stole. Allegedly. It's a lose-lose on both sides, because if you have structure like in LA, you take yourself down in a federal courtroom because all structure is a paper trail. And if there's no
Yeah.
structure like in Chicago, your own homie gets you out the way before your ops can. Speaking of paper trail, didn't Banging on Wax start in California? Now I know that groups like NWA was not all real gangsters. We know Eazy-E was, but didn't Ice Cube go to art school or something? And of course the West Coast kinda did start the trend back in the day of publicly gangbanging on music and home videos, but this was the beginning of the end for self-snitching. I get that California is huge, and because of
Nah,
this, the
bro.
law can't keep up with every gang and every set. So a lot of these guys will get away with it. For 50 plus years too. I mean, you will not find any older gang members in America than you will find in any part of California. But that goes back to that
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like California got the oldest gang members, like old heads. You know what I mean? I feel like California probably got the oldest gang members. California be having gang members in they like 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm not okay. I might be overreacting with the 80s, but still 60s going to the 70s. Boy, creeping to the grave. Which, hey, that I get it. Lifestyle, grew up in, family. Hey, whatever floats your boat. But I'm just saying, like, why?
structure. Once I turned 25 in Chicago, I either lost most of the guys I was closest to in the gang, or I already got snaked by the rest of the guys. So if I did end up making it that far in life, I'm gone. I'm not staying around y'all, cause when you die or go to jail, your guy's gonna be trying to get with your girl, and they're not sending you $1 in prison. That's a street guarantee in most
Man.
cities. But this is why there's still such a thing as an OG in LA. It don't take a rocket scientist to know that there's no chance any other little guys running around with switches would ever listen to a Big U or any older guy. Honestly, where I'm from, a Brick Baby is considered an old goofy if he ain't putting money and weapons in the hood, and he still might get took down for everything he got, cause there's no respect for real. Lil Durk allegedly putting money on people in Chicago. Listen, I don't know if y'all know, but allegedly they got recorded jail calls of guys snitching on Durk cause he ain't sending money fast enough.
That's
Nobody
crazy.
Durk's age is running the streets putting in no work in Chicago. It's the teenagers only. And with teenagers, there's no conscience and no loyalty. Once that Cash App didn't come through, Durk was just another old goofy. And now he's gonna have to probably pay the price for thinking otherwise. And just
And that's crazy to think about it, bro. Really paying these kids. I don't think it was kids that did the shooting. I think that was like, I mean, yeah, early 20s, late teens, but Dirk only like 25, 20, 25, 26, 27. Once you get to that age, you really ain't doing that stuff no more. He ain't, I say he really not lying. But it's really crazy, like you really paying kids to go do this though. Like,
just only. And with teenagers, there's no conscience and no loyalty. Once that cash app
why?
didn't come through, Dirk was just another old goofy. And now he's gonna have to probably pay the price for thinking otherwise. And just that little illusion of structure alone was enough to build a Fed case on him. So when you got guys still having gang meetings and extortion calls, sure, the police and the feds will let this go. But once you take it to its full potential, like Big U did, playing with millions of dollars, now the feds just can't let you slide. Cause they know what it could turn into. But of course, most guys stay too involved in petty squabbles to become a real enterprise. Remember, the FBI created the RICO Act just so they could stop the mafia. And this probably wouldn't have happened if the mob wasn't getting money. But you know, John Gotti had all the money and the house.
And that's why they won't let it happen again. The mafia was the worst of the worst, I'm telling you. The mafia was basically, they came over from overseas, you know, when everybody was coming over to America. And they was basically the cartel version here, bro. They was running the streets, getting in fights with the cops, bro. With the cops, for real. Shooting them up with Tommy guns and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, we ain't probably, and I'm not, this is basically a good thing. I'm not glorifying gangs or gang violence, but we will probably never see a powerhouse criminal organization like that ever again in America. Honestly, they won't let that
And
happen.
luxury cars.
They won't let that happen just because of the money. Unless they find a way to profit off of it, they not gonna do it. They not gonna do it, bro.
All untaxed. And you know Uncle Sam is always going to get his cut. And these people are not willing to share that money under any circumstances. You in his country, so you got to pay. When the projects were still up in Chicago, the police would come by and interrupt the money operation until they got their cut. Once they did, they drive off and leave you to it. But once the feds stepped in, the little crooked cops had no more power. Because again, a lot of money was floating around untaxed. And Uncle Sam holds a grudge when it comes to that money. And unfortunately, most guys in the streets will live their whole life part of a program, as they say in LA, that could be $1 billion operation if they had the right mindset. But most of them will still end up dead or in jail without ever touching $1 million. And there's a few that got some real money and managed to serve less than 20 years in federal prison, which is the best you can hope for. But when that's the best you can hope for, is any of this even worth it? And to all my California dudes, all over California, stop going on no jumper. All right, it's not 2016. There once was a time where Adam and all his little weirdos could have gave you some clout, and his podcast actually used to mean something in the rap community. But now it's just what the feds watch on their lunch breaks. I don't care how many views you get in, man. You can get this out the mud yourself. You don't need no other podcast. You don't need no other platform. You can become your own platform. And shout out to all my new viewers, man. Y'all are the reason that everybody else should know that anything is possible. And I'm still not.
Is this GTA? Is he showing GTA?
Not the type to tell somebody don't get their money. It's just hard for me to get down what they got going on in No Jumper. So I advise all of the Cali. Listen, if no Cali dudes got on their podcast, he wouldn't have one. You
he wouldn't, honestly.
And Luce, please stop calling this man.
Oh no. No. UK drill. Golly. Anyways.
LA, Nick.
LA. Nah, bro. But hey, I forgot what I was finna say. It was something about the end. But look, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. If they only gonna do these Ricos, like I said, just for the money, because we making money, and when I say we, I'm not talking about like black folks. I'm just talking about like people in general. We're making money without them, and that's the main thing. Like, especially, yeah, if you making a couple thousand, you're gonna throw some red flags within the city. Stuff like that, and then they might brush it under like, okay, let's keep an eye on them. Then if they see a you're gradually progressing, then they're like, okay, yeah, they on the up and rising. We might need to go ahead and shake them up or go ahead and knock them out, just so we can play it safe. You know what I mean? Or sometimes you might go undiscovered until you like blow up, pop off. Already racking millions. Now they got to figure out how to take you down and figure out who on top. And that's when they start poking and see who gonna snitch and stuff like that. We ain't never gonna see that big organization anymore, because one, loyalty don't exist. Loyalty do not exist no more. And honestly, I feel like it's harder. It's harder for them to buy people out now. You can't get bought out. It's harder to get bought out, especially. I know money talk, but it's harder to get bought out. Honestly, it's some of the government is less corrupt. That's actually crazy to say, money wise. That's actually crazy to say. I guess it depends on the crime or organization. But alright, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. But do me a favor before y'all go. Drop a comment and like down below for your boy. Subscribe and click the bell for me too. And I'm gonna catch y'all next time, bro. Peace.